A very warm welcome to you. My name is Andrew St. Pierre White. I'm an adventure travel filmmaker. I've been doing it full-time for 30 years and I'm celebrating this month by releasing all of the courses, my many courses that are on Udemy. If you want to jump ahead, you can go to Udemy. The link is in the description. All of those courses, all of those lectures here on this channel free on YouTube because I love teaching this subject, because I love storytelling. And you, if you are interested in storytelling on video, you are now a filmmaker, like it or not. Now, the reason why I say this is that being a filmmaker, you might very well be thinking that editing and filming are two separate processes. I really want to exhort you now. These are not two separate processes. Please let me explain. This is one of my very early lectures. I probably produced this in 2015, 16, somewhere around there, so I've got a little less grey hair. Very, very valuable thing to learn. As a filmmaker, that's what you are now. If you want to get into video, then I want you to think of yourself as a filmmaker, not just somebody that makes some videos. The reason why I say that is because filmmakers are storytellers. Now, I'm not really going to teach you how to point a camera at somebody giving a lecture or a talk. What I want to teach here is the art of telling stories using video as the medium. Filmmaking, that's what it is. Don't make light of that word. And I want to teach now a principle that I think is absolutely vital to the success of anybody making films. And that is that the filming and the editing are not two separate processes. While they appear to be two separate processes, in other words, you film and then you come back and edit, physically they might be two separate processes, but mentally they must not be. And the reason for that is that once you've filmed. Now what you get when you get into the edit suite is all of the footage that you've filmed. Here it is here. I've got all of these shots in what these called bins. And that's the footage that I have gathered. The content that I've gathered, I now need to edit it and tell a story. If you're not thinking about this process while you're filming, then you're going to fall short. You're going to end up in a situation like this where you're editing and you don't have what you need, but what will happen always is you won't have what you really want. And if you can get past that mental block of so many people that start video, is they believe there's two separate processes. Please don't regard them as two separate processes. They're one process. It's called filmmaking. And within that it's storytelling. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through some television shows, documentary shows. I do a lot of actuality, real life, non-fiction storytelling. And what I do is when I see something going on, I'll say to myself, what's the story? So I want you to remember that. What's the story? Now, many of these will be part of a much bigger story. It's like a book making a film. If it's a very complicated book, it'll have story story arcs within the book. It'll have a beginning, it'll have an intro, it'll have intrigue, it'll have interest, it'll have emotion, it'll have all these different things, and it'll be divided into chapters. Filmmaking is not unlike that. So for example, what I'm going to show you now are some scenes, and this video followed by, and this lecture followed by a number of other ones, will be examples where I have used a certain mindset to accomplish the telling of a story. And what I will try and do is instill in your brain the same mindset, the same mental processes, so that when you arrive to capture a scene, be it a wedding, be it a family picnic on the beach, be it some drinks at a friend's place, okay, the principles are the same. So hopefully if I present these and I give you my thought processes and the end results, you'll be able to learn from example. Because for me personally, learning from example is one of the most powerful ways of understanding some concepts. So here's the first one.
Paint graffiti on that building.
But the big camera, other side is there, two policemen standing. We must be focused to them.
Where?
Other side,
I can see them.
I can see them. No? Yeah, but for the small camera, it's not a big problem.
Okay.
As you can see, this building falling down. This was a storeroom for the gunners, armament. We call it armament in Portuguese, the room where we can store our guns and all this stuff. One the guy smoking, leave his cigarette, then it blowing out, start burning, you know, because it's the gun bullet, is that cause to the... And I was asking also, the guy is not remembering nicely there, but he's saying it's from 7 to 75 is there when this was happening on this side.
This was filmed in Angola. About 10 years ago actually, and if I have a look at the scene here, I'm starting with a scene that has music. Why would I use music in a scene like this? Well, I want you to notice something about this. I'm going to play a little bit more of it. Can you notice that not only is the music playing, but the sound effects are still there? Okay, so lesson number one, never take away the sound effects and overlay it with music. You can sometimes do that, but generally don't do it. Ask yourself a question now, what are the sounds doing to the story, and what is the music doing to the story?
Spray paint graffiti on that building.
Now you can hear the guy talking. Now the challenge for me then was, okay, I've come to this place and there is a wrecked building. So what is my story? A wrecked building. It's an extraordinary building. It's not just a wreck. Why is it wrecked? So ask yourself the question, why is it wrecked? Because your audience will be asking the question, why is it wrecked? It looks interesting and it's a mess. Why is it a mess? Why is it wrecked? So when people start talking, this is why I mentioned in the earlier part of the course about how important microphones are. Man, they're important. Because in a situation like this, and I struggled here to hear exactly what they were saying, because what they were saying was vital to the story.
Big camera, other side is there, two policemen standing. We must be focused to them.
Where?
Other side,
I can see them.
I can see them. No? Yeah, but for the small camera, it's not a big problem.
Okay.
So I knew at the time that the sound was not going to be very good. So I tried to get close. You can see now my camera is quite close to my subject. The reason for that is mainly here. I'm getting good eyes. I'm getting good facial expressions. Very important. You can't see them from a distance. If you want eyes and facial expressions, get up close. The camera had the microphone mounted on it. I didn't have a separate sound engineer. As beginners, you're not going to have a second sound microphone operator, are you? It's going to be mounted on the camera. So you have to think about that. So get close to your subject, because hearing what they say is really important.
As you can see, this building falling down. This was a storeroom for the gunners, armament. We call it armament in Portuguese.
So what I did when filming it, I filmed this guy and I left the camera on him and I just rolled camera and let him talk. Get the sound. You're getting him talking, but get all of what he's got to say. If I had turned the camera around to the building while he was talking, I would have lost the sound, wouldn't I? So the thing is that here, what he's saying is as important as the building itself. So then I got what is commonly known as B-roll. The B-roll here is all of the other footage that I overlay him talking. It also means that with B-roll, I can decide what I want him to say. He might talk for a full 5 minutes and I only want to use the first or middle 20 seconds of it, which is most likely what happens in cases like this. You just want the salient bits of what he's saying. The B-roll is then vital for editing over his presentation made off camera, but I'm holding on his presentation. I'm letting him talk, and I just let him talk.
Room where we can store our guns and all this stuff. When the guy smoking, leave his cigarette, then it blowing out, start burning, you know, because it's the gun bullet is that cause to the. And I was asking also the guy is not remembering nicely there, but he's saying it's from 70 to 75.
I put the subtitles underneath it because I knew, because he wasn't good at English, it wasn't his home language, and therefore it was important for me to know that my audience could hear every word. More of those coming. Now, from this point, it's up to you, because you need to hit that little subscribe and like button, because it's the only way you can tell YouTube that you like these shows and you would like to watch next week's one, which is a real cracker. If you want to jump ahead, go to YouTube, link in the description. Till the next time.